The Dabblers by W.F. Harvey. It was a wet July evening. The three friends sat around the peat fire at Harbour's Den, pleasantly weary after their long tramp across the moors. Scott, the ironmaster, had been declaiming against modern education. His partner's son had recently entered the business, with everything to learn, and the business couldn't afford to teach him. "I suppose," he said, "that from preparatory school to university, Wilkins must have spent the best part of £3,000 on filling a suit of +4s with brawn. It's too much. My boy is going to Steelborough Grammar School. Then, when he's 16, I shall send him to Germany, so that he can learn from our competitors. Then he'll put in a year in the office. Afterwards, if he shows any ability, he can go up to Oxford. Of course, he'll be rusty and out of his stride, but he can mug up his Latin in the evenings, as my shop stewards do with their industrial history and economics." "Things aren't as bad as you make out," said Freeman, the architect. "The trouble I find with schools is in choosing the right one, where so many are excellent. I've entered my boy for one of these old county grammar schools that have been completely remodelled. Wells showed in The Undying Fire what an enlightened headmaster can do when he is given a free hand and isn't buried alive in mortar and tradition." "You'll probably find," said Scott, "that it's mostly eyewash, no discipline, and a lot of talk about self-expression and education for service. There you're wrong. I should say the discipline is too severe, if anything. I heard only the other day from my young nephew that 2 boys had been expelled for a raid on a hen roost or some such escapade. But I suppose there was more to it than met the eye. What are you smiling about, Harborough?" "It was something you said about headmasters and tradition. I was thinking about tradition and boys. Rum, secretive little beggars. It seems to me quite possible that there is a wealth of hidden lore passed on from one generation of schoolboys to another, that it might be well worth while for a psychologist or an anthropologist to investigate. I remember at my first school writing some lines of doggerel in my books. They were really an imprecation against anyone who should steal them. I've seen practically the same words in old monkish manuscripts. They go back to the time when books were of value, but it was on the fly-leaves of Abbott's Via Latina and Locke's Arithmetic that I wrote them. Nobody would want to steal those books. Why should boys start to spin tops at a certain season of—"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?